first of all, I'd like to thank the organizers for having me here and making time to share some few words with you all. So this is February, the Heart Month. So I have few things about the heart that I would like to share with you all, and hopefully that will come as helpful for you all. So first of all, I am Khadka. I am the international cardiologist, which means we proudly say we are the plumbers of the heart. But when I say it to my wife, she said, no, you are the drain guy. So you open the clogged artery, so you're the drain guy, not the plumber. So well, I'll take it that. So first of all, about the heart health is very important, and the heart affects everything, mind, body, and everything. And with the heart, I am very sad to share the fact that it is still the number one cause of death, not just here in the United States, but in the whole world. So there are things that we can do to prevent the heart disease, and then there are the medications, treatment, and all. And 80% of these heart disease are preventable. So if we live right, eat right, take the medications, and then seek care, we need to be 80% of those are avoidable deaths. So a few things about the heart is that heart affects everybody. So it affects the newborn, it affects the youth, it affects the older people as well. The newborns sometimes are born with the heart defect that needs surgery to fix. Sometimes unfortunately, there are only things that we can help to prolong their life. As we grow, there are rhythm abnormalities, the palpitations, the different rhythm abnormalities becomes the most common thing affecting us. And then as we age, the rhythm abnormalities still there. On top of that, we also start developing the atherosclerosis, or plaque built up in our arteries leading to heart disease, stroke, and peripheral vascular diseases. So as we age, all these things keeps growing. So the incidence and prevalence of heart disease goes more and more as we go. So and when we talk about heart disease, it becomes incomplete if we don't talk about the whole cardiovascular system, because whatever affects the heart affects the whole vascular system, or the arteries and veins of our body. And then it can lead to the stroke, the kidney disease, liver disease, peripheral vascular disease, people having amputation on the ulcers. So how does the process start? So brief, so that we can understand. So when we are burned, our arteries are smooth, the inner lining is smooth. So as we start to age, the inner lining gets damaged, and then the cholesterol plaque starts to build up there. On long run, the plaque goes bigger and bigger, and then finally starts up the artery. So sometimes the body is able to make the bypass channel by itself, which helps the organ. Sometimes the body is not able to do that, and whatever the organ that the artery is supplying starts to lose its function and slowly die out. So this is one. The other thing is sometimes the artery does not completely occlude. There are some partially blocked arteries, like you can see here. So long run, the cholesterol is getting built up. The body tries to hold it up with a gap on the top, and then with the stresses that we have, the gap starts to get thinned out, and then eventually the gap ruptures and forms a big clot on it, and then that causes the total occlusion of the vessel. So this is how the heart attack happens, and this is how the stroke happens as well. So that the distal artery vessel is completely occluded. So I think I have scared you enough. Let's talk about how we can avoid it. So like I said, there's more than 80% of these cases are preventable. There are modifiable risk factors, there are some non-modifiable risk factors. Non-modifiable is the genetic factors. So like we always say, that if you cannot blame on anybody, blame on your parents. So genetic factors plays a role, but even with those genetic factors, if we are able to modify the other factors, we can still do good. So things that we can do to prevent is healthy lifestyle, which includes good diet, regular exercise, regular physical activities, and then the control of the cardiovascular risk factors. So a lot of us, when we talk about the cardiovascular risk factors, we have a very little knowledge. So when we talk about high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, smoking, high alcohol consumption, all those are high risk factors for developing coronary artery disease or heart disease. So talking about each of those, so smoking is number one contributor of heart disease. And so it is mostly affects the young, but as we age, all this thing becomes cumulative factors and affects the heart and vascular disease. What smoking does is all the toxins in the smoking, including the nicotine and all of the toxins, starts to damage the inner lining of the blood vessels. And that's where the cholesterol starts to get deposited. And on the long run, that gets bigger and bigger, and in multiple places as well, not just one places. And that's what causes the disease. So if we stop smoking at any time, it's never too late. So that will help. So other thing is regular exercise. So we always talk about regular exercise and when we talk about regular exercise, people start thinking that they have to go to gym or run or jog. But whatever you can do in a day-to-day basis will help as well. If you cannot have time or provide time to do the rigorous exercises. So at least 30 to 45 minutes of walking 3 to 5 times a week is good enough if you can do that. If you can do more, that's always better. But at least that much time you have to, if you could spare that time, do that much physical activity is always good. The other things to increase the physical activity is the walking at your work. Take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Try to, if you don't find a parking lot near, don't just drive around trying to find a parking lot near. So park at the spot where you can find and walk. So that will help as well. Everything will help. Any kind of physical activity, mobility will help. So like yesterday, so 150 minutes to 300-minute exercise in a week, divided into 2 to 3 sessions, is at least the bare minimum that we need. So the other thing is the sugars. And so high sugars is toxic to the inner lining of the blood vessels. So anybody who has high sugars or they are diagnosed with diabetes, we always have to look into the ways to cut down the sugar content and also try to keep the diabetes under control with medicines or insulin so that the sugar level remains checked in the body and does not cause harm. And the sugar level, if somebody is diagnosed with diabetes, and what's the good level of hemoglobin A1C is to keep less than 7. So initially we were very strict, we wanted to keep it less than 6, but then people were having a lot of low sugar events. So anything between less than 7 is good enough to prevent the harmful effects of the diabetes. So the cholesterol is the other thing that we always preach about. Anything high cholesterol starts getting deposited. So anybody who has high level of cholesterol, the plaque buildup process is faster in those people. So keeping the cholesterol down always helps. If you can keep your cholesterol, bad cholesterol down to the level of less than 70, so it will prevent more than 20% of the chances of forming the plaque and then that plaque getting big. So the other thing we talk about is blood pressure. So in the blood pressure wise, a lot of us don't check our blood pressure at all. We feel that we are fine and we don't check the blood pressure. Even people who are diagnosed with blood pressure are on medicine, they don't check the blood pressure. So, but we don't know, if we don't check the blood pressure, we don't know if it's under control or not. So even if you're healthy individuals, every now and then we should check our blood pressure. Nowadays, the good thing is in Florida, I saw news a few weeks back, it says, it's Florida, we have publics in every corner of our street. So every public has the blood pressure, the place to check the blood pressure. So when you go for groceries, spare like 2 or 3 minutes, get your blood pressure checked, and then see where the blood pressure is. And that will help in screening as well. And the number that we want is the less than 130 over 70. So the top number less than 140, the bottom number less than 80. Sorry, I think I said 70, 80. So if you see your blood pressure consistently above that number, it means that you have high blood pressure. Things that you can do is cut down your salt, increase the physical activity, exercise program, and then cut down the stress. Caffeine in some people is very sensitive, so it can also raise the blood pressure. Cut down that, cut down on alcohol intake, and then if the blood pressure still stays above, then that's the time to see your doctor, discuss about it, and try to be on medications. Okay? So And the third thing we always talk about, last thing we always talk about is the diet as well. So diet-wise, the formula of the diet is to cut down on the high carb-containing diet, high fat-containing diet, and especially in fat and trans fat. If any food has the high amount of trans fat, we have to cut down. So the best practice is when you buy any kind of new food, look at the labels and then see what are the ingredients in it and what's the content of carbohydrates, what the contents of the trans fat, and then try to be on the leaner side. Also increase the fruits and vegetables in your diet as well. So that would replace the carbohydrate and fat content and also gives the nutrients and minerals that we need. So what we suspect of heart disease and what we have, then we are always here. We are at Khadka. So you can discuss with your primary care doctor or you can come to the cardiologist and then you can discuss more about it. Not everybody needs testing. Sometimes people who have suspected heart disease but they don't have any symptoms, most of the time they don't need testing. We can start them on preventive medication if there's an indication, and then we can follow them over the time as well. So few testing nowadays is popular one is if anybody has diabetes, high cholesterol, and their age more than 50, the best and very simple test is to do CT coronary calcium score. So it will give the how much calcium is deposited in the blood vessels of the heart, and then based on so the reason we see calcium is calcium attaches to the plaque, so it becomes a surrogate of the plaque built-up in the heart. So if there's any calcium in the heart, it means there's a plaque built-up in the heart, and then based on symptoms or not, further testing can be decided. There's other testing called CT coronary angiogram, which is getting more and more popular, and this is a very good test as well. If the CT coronary angiogram gives us if there's any plaque, and also gives us if there is how much blockage is there, and if anything else needs to be done on those blockages. Then always we know about the stress test, exercise stress test, pharmacological stress test, and if everything cannot give us the answer or those tests are abnormal, then doing the heart catheterization to find out. So the heart catheterization becomes the last diagnostic tool to find out the heart disease. And then based on what we find, we can either treat it with during the heart catheterization. If there's multiple blockages, people sometimes have to go for the bypass surgeries. Okay. So if there is any suspicion for the heart disease, if you have anything, discuss with your primary care doctor, and based on that, if need be, come to the cardiologist. We don't always run tests. We can always talk and then find out and then okay. All right. Thank you so